apparently I'm just friggin' chatty today. Lots of ideas are occurring to me regarding the book that I'm working on productivity, on optimizing oneself, not from just a physical standpoint or a mental standpoint, but the whole system. I think that's one thing that I'm really trying to embrace in what I'm talking about and what I'm trying to capture is everything's connected, and we make changes and we think that change that we make is going to make a difference, a monumental difference, and it's going to fix everything. It's sort of the infomercial approach, and that's what I was just thinking about was, we have things that we do, things that we implement, or we make a change and we think, all right, now this is going to just revolutionize everything. Like, look at all the stuff that I can do with a ShamWow, or look at all the time that I save because I can set it and forget it, or look at all the time, look at all the things that I can clean up with a with OxyClean or whatever. Like, those are all revolutionary things that are supposed to just make our lives better. And we do the same thing when it comes to systems of organization in particular. We look at things like bullet journaling, or we look at particular planners, or we look at particular productivity software or organizational software. And we think to ourselves, if I can just implement that system, I'm going to make everything better, and I'm going to be able to achieve those goals that I set out to achieve. And the problem is, all we're doing is implementing another system on top of the way that we're already operating and the way that we do things. So now what we have to do is we have to take everything and translate it into that new system and not effectively change anything. Okay, coffee. I was talking about coffee in another video, and the fact that when we have a routine to make coffee, that's an investment of time, because we're going to get a particular return. We're going to get a cup of coffee out of that. But depending on how we invest that time, we're still going to get a cup of coffee. There are varying levels of quality to that cup of coffee, but there are a lot of different ways to achieve coffee, to accomplish the goal of put coffee in my mouth, and lots of different delivery systems and everything else. So, be it, if we consider that, bullet journaling is a way that we're going to be organizing ourselves, or, trying to create a particular mindset, if we're not already predisposed to be efficient to a certain extent while we're doing some of those tasks, we're still going to get caught up in the amount of time that it takes to complete those tasks. It doesn't matter what you write them down on or how you organize them, they're still going to be there. So I think you have to take a step back, and really an efficient process comes or begins from analyzing the scope of things that you do and the way that you run your life, and the things that you prioritize, and the things that you're trying to accomplish. And from there, the amount of time that you're willing to invest in those things, or have available to invest, and then you can begin to organize what it is you're trying to accomplish. I would love to, be a musician, to just sit and play music all the time. Or I would love to be in woodworking and just work on wood all the time. Or I would love to be this or that or whatever. Can I afford to spend that time pursuing those goals, and how do those goals rank in the context of everything that I have to accomplish? I have to work in order to make money to pay for things to keep my family alive and well. That's kind of priority number one. Like at the end of the day, that's a non-negotiable. That's like taxes. You got to pay your taxes. You have to have income in order to pay for X, Y, and Z. Well, if we look at that, what are X, Y, and Z? How much do we reasonably have to invest in order to continue to maintain those things that cost money? So then we take another step back and we consider those things that I have to pay money for. Are they really worth the investment? And am I getting out of those what I'm putting in from a monetary standpoint? Consider television. Consider, cable / network access / Hulu / Netflix, if I accumulate all of those things that we're paying for right now, in my house, we have a bundled fee every month for cable and phone and high-speed internet. That's all one thing. So we have one amount that we pay. Well, we don't have a home phone. We don't use our home phone, and yet we have a home phone number that's attached to that bundle. Well, we just don't plug the phone in because we literally don't use the phone. Everybody has a cell phone. Okay, so that's a good point. All four of us have a cell phone. Down to my youngest son, Jack, who's 10 years old, and we can go into whether it's good for kids to have cell phones. That's a whole other discussion. For us, it's a means of being able to get a hold of him if he's somewhere else, and it's also a tracking mechanism for us if we need to know where he is. It's a little big brother, but it's also a little mom and dad. That's, as a parent, you have to be responsible for your kids. So I see that as a mandatory expense. So, can we eliminate the cost of the phone and instead of having a bundle, just have the high-speed internet and the cable? Okay, let's consider further the fact that we have cable, but we also have a subscription to Netflix and a subscription to Hulu. What do we really use the cable for? Can we get rid of the cable? Well, we miss our current programming or our, the sitcoms that we watch right now. Like when a new one comes out, we can watch it, we can DVR it, and we can watch it when it comes out. Oh, that's another thing. Actually, part of that bundle is the cable box, because there's a rental fee or a monthly fee or whatever for the cable box. So can we unbundle further, get rid of the cable box, get rid of the cable, just have the high-speed internet, and then we have Hulu and Netflix? Okay, there's also an investment on a monthly basis, weekly, monthly, yearly, whatever, in media, like hard copy media, basically. So DVDs, Blu-rays, also I would say CDs and things like that, media, like things that we would consume through, some sort of an electronic format, be it, speakers and an iPhone and, or listening to music in the car, or, streaming movies, watching movies, whatever. All of that's sort of lumped into, media, I think. So for us, is it worth it to pay for a cable bundle that includes high-speed internet, that includes cable, that includes the box, that includes our home phone, in addition to Netflix, in addition to Hulu, in addition to the fact that we also buy hard copies of movies that we enjoy and like to watch all the time? That's how we need to approach being organized. Is it worth it to try to accomplish X, Y, and Z every day? And do we really value those things that much that we need to do them? Or is it a point where, we just need to prioritize the things that we have time to do, and then there are nice to haves. There are things that we might otherwise enjoy doing, and that we do enjoy doing, but we can't really relinquish a lot of time on a daily basis to devote to those things. And I've talked about this before in other videos and blogs and stuff like that. It's sort of the art of being good at things or mastering things, the Tao of how. It's all connected. The fact that we have pursuits that we want to be interested in and we want to become more proficient in, or maybe move to mastery of, but you kind of have to pick and choose. You have to choose your battles. You can't do everything all the time at the highest level of achievement or proficiency. So I can't be a woodworker. I can't be a musician. I can have those things as hobbies, but I have a lifestyle that dictates that I need to work and have a real job in order to pay for the things that I have. And I don't have enough time to develop the proficiency as a musician or a woodworker or what have you to generate enough income to not do what I'm doing now and move to those things. And yet, if I wanted to change my station in life, or if I wanted to pursue a different goal, perhaps given the opportunity of free time, if I freed up enough time, in addition to all the time that I have to invest in the need-to-haves, like work, like family time, like commuting and all of that, if I can find a way to channel all of that time into maybe one pursuit and work on mastery of that, maybe I could change my position in life and move beyond what I'm doing right now and move into that new thing. So going way back to where I started this, which was like systems of organization, we can try to shuffle all of the things that we're doing in a different way, or organize them in a different way, or document them in a different way. But really, it's about looking at those things that we do and trying to create a value system around what we're trying to accomplish in the long term, and how our daily actions contribute to achieving those goals. So if I have all of these things I need to do, are there things that I can cut loose? Are there things like the cable bill, like the phone bill, to go back to those examples? Are those things that I can eliminate in order to bring down the net amount of, tasks that I'm trying to accomplish? Fees that I have to pay, or monthly bills, or whatever it is we're talking about or applying this to. Is there any way we can reduce and minimize and make things simpler in order to be able to fit the right things in? So that's where I'm going to close. We can have any system we want to plan, to prepare, to organize, to manage, but if we're trying to herd cats, it's going to be chaos. We need to start with really a more meta level analysis of what it is we're trying to accomplish, and then from there back into a plan.